Rock, scissors, paper. Have you ever played the game? Do you enjoy playing the game? Are you alive out there? Rock, scissors, paper. And a flight to Sardinia in 2003. We're sitting, actually it's no business and coach in Europe anyways, but we'd still just buy those coach tickets when we were flying to our honeymoon on a 4-hour flight. And this was, of course, our second day of marriage. And we were sitting there and you kind of wanted to entertain yourself, and this is kind of the only game you can play in the airplane seats. And Hilda had been to an advanced leadership training where we played a game of the samurais, and instead of using swords, we used rock, scissors, paper. And she'd taken out 17 soldiers in a row, so she was the master of this game. While I was laying dead on the floor all the time, I don't know if it was she taking me out, but I did something stupid. So now we are here, and we're gonna play the game, and of course, Hilda is gonna win. Except for on this flight. So first game, I won. Second game, I won. Third game, I won. Fourth game, I won. She stopped talking. It's the second day, traveling to our honeymoon. Fifth game, she won. She started talking again. Sixth game, she lost. And when Hilda loses, she's got this beautiful expression. Ugh! And when she wins, she's got this beautiful expression too. Yes! So this is going on back and forth, but seventh game, eighth game, ninth game, and after that, we did not play, and we did not talk for 2 hours. An everlasting, ever-growing, vitally romantic relationship also has struggles. There's tough times in it. It's not necessarily going to be exactly the way you envision it. And I think that you're here today for a reason. And the reason why you're here today is because you've got something I call ambition. How many in here today have ambition? Okay, perfect. So ambition, just to define it really clearly, is an earnest desire. That you really want something and that it comes from your heart, and you desire something special. You desire to be something bigger, to be distinct, or you desire to be famous, or you desire to have success, or you desire to have fame, or you desire to be the top rank in your company, or you desire to have wealth. And you've got the willingness to work really hard, or in another word, strive for it. So when we enter into any kind of business, or when we enter into a relationship, or when we enter into a new venture of some kind, we've always got a high ambition, haven't we? Anybody? We've got a high ambition. We really want something, and even though it doesn't go like we first anticipated it, the ambition doesn't go away. So I want you to know that every single person that ever joins your business have got ambition. They want to be someone. Even the people that doesn't show like they want to be someone, they want to be somebody. And they want to have wealth, they want to have distinction, they want to be honored, they want to be seen, every single person. Is this true? But there is a journey from when you get struck with your ambition until you live the life. Let me just draw a simple example for you. This is the journey of your ambition. It's not a highway to get what we want in life. It is actually more like a hike, like climbing a mountain. And when we start out, right here, let's make that a little bit easier. You're right here. And you've got an ambition that you want to go up here. Let's call this the goal. You want to go all the way to the top. But what is going to happen is that when you face this first mountain here, things is going to be difficult, because maybe at the first here, at least if you stood on the shoulders of your friend, you could see that it was possible. Are you with me? You see clearly why I choose network marketing and not art. And it gets even worse. There'll even be trees that is covering your sight, because in the beginning of a mountain hike, in the beginning, you're in the midst of a forest. You can't really see anything. So here the people come into your organization and they've got ambition. They want to be somebody. They want to go to the top of the pay plan, and they want to do it in like 8 seconds. And you know that they're setting out for a tough journey. And then they're lost in the forest and they can't find their way out. I'm so glad that we have a team on Iceland. They don't have forest there. Actually, they do have forest, but if you get lost on an Icelandic forest, you know what you do? Stand up. Trees are only this high. But on our journey to achieve our ambitions, to achieve our dreams, on our journey to have an everlasting, wildly romantic relationship with a little Gabriel, there is going to be some struggles on the way. Actually, do you know what I did while Hilde was up here? No, I didn't change diaper. I was out in the back, in there, in that room behind there, and he was crying straight out because he had some tummy pain again. And just before I came on stage, he got that beautiful sound again. He finally got it out. Have you seen the difference between your people coming into an event and going out of an event? Come on, somebody. That might have been you. So ambition is what's on the inside. Skills is what's on the outside. So ambition is all the things that you can become, all the things that you can be. And you don't have to have the screen up there all the time so they can see me. Fantastic. So it's all the things that you can be, all the things that you know that you are. But on the outside, it might not look that pretty. The skills might not be that good. I can remember coming to my first customer presentation. I think it's like 22 years ago now. And I wasn't that great. I can remember my first partner or distributor presentation. Do you know how bad I was? Like, do anybody have an idea of how bad it was? I worked with a high intent for 2 years before I got my first sign-up and my first commission. From 17 to 19. I had ambition! I had nothing showing, no skills. So I wanted to be someone. I wanted to be distinct. I didn't want to be the loser. I didn't want to be the one that never could bring anybody to the meetings. In fact, I don't know even if I knew if there was meetings. That's how bad it was. But the release that came when I got my first commission check was like winning the lottery, just 10 times better. I knew that it worked. I knew that now it was just about doing it again and again and again and again. And my next 2 years, I did it one more time. I got one more paycheck. And I'm 4 years into it. Do you know what you want to do at that point? You want to quit. You don't want to be in the business. You don't want to be the person that is a failure, because that's one of the problems, is that even though you've got ambition, sometimes you get so stuck that you don't know how to unstuck yourself. Why was it so difficult for me? Well, I think it was because when I grew up, I was very good at math, and I've told the story before, so I'm going to run through it really quickly in the next 17 minutes. That clock is counting the wrong way. Somebody got to fix that. It's counting up. So I hope I'm not 17 minutes over already. That'd be really bad, because I've just started. It was counting down earlier. But here is the thing. I had dyslexia. It was discovered in the 2nd grade by my teacher that I couldn't read. It was discovered by me that I couldn't read. It was discovered by my parents that I couldn't read. It was discovered by the school in the 4th grade, so I got a special teacher. And then my life was a constant failure, always having problems after problems after problems after problems, and I was not a success. And what that made was wounds on the inside of me. And when you get wounds on the inside of you and you still have your ambition and you want to go out and do something about it, it's not that easy, because you come through as arrogant. And do you know what? An arrogant person will have a whole lot of followers. A whole 0 of them. Because when you can't relate to people, you can't communicate, it's very difficult. So I had to go through that journey. But I believed one thing. I believed that my ambition was true, because I'd got what I call an impartation, and I'm going to explain the word. Like, for instance, when I met Art the first time, I don't know if it was the very first time, but the first time I had a good conversation with him about network marketing, and he told me stories about Big Al, and he told me stories about Randy Gage, and he told me stories about people making $100,000 a month. There was an impartation of belief from Art to me. So an impartation takes place when you're close to somebody that have got something that you want that fits with your ambition. And it's imparted into you, and after you've got that, it's stuck there, it can't leave. And I've had several of those things. I'd had those pictures, and you'd probably had those pictures over there too, haven't you? Where you see at night a lifestyle, and you see how you are distinct, you see how you're great. Is that true? Is there anybody that have had those dreams? No, I can't hear you. Is there anybody that had those dreams where you just see where you're going in life and you know that life is gonna change? Here is the problem. When you see that, it's on the inside of you, and it's great, and it's there, and it's gonna burst out, but you gotta refine those skills of getting customers, getting distributors, and developing leadership. And that is the incubation process, where you become the person that you have been designed to be. Because you've been designed to be unique. You've been designed to be something special. You're one of a kind. You're unique. You are you, and you can go to the ends of your dreams. So if you can see it, you can conceive it, see it, and believe it, you can achieve it, because it's actually been given an impartation to you so that you got all the things that you need, but you got to have the incubation process before it's manifested, before it comes out, and the thing that is inside becomes your outside. We've had a few speakers on the platform already. Randy was up here talking about what made him really come out. And it was quite dramatic story, wasn't it? So he got shot. Very dramatic. And he calls it a blessing today. Here's the thing. When those negative things are going on in your life, when those challenges is coming against you and you think that, I don't know if there is a way out of this. And you realize that unless something happens now, I might, and I'm not saying die like in Randy's case, but you might die away from believing that you can become your utmost. True? That's the time when life is actually talking behind your back. Good things about you behind your back. And I believe that for every single person, there is something just around the corner. Because life has told you what you can be in your ambition. And life is constantly telling that behind your back. But you just can't see it because you haven't gotten around the corner yet. And just around the corner, there is going to be a breakthrough. There is going to be something special happening. And you're going to get those dreams or those goals that you deserve so much. So when Hilda is crying, and we've had 13 miscarriages, it's hard to believe that the breakthrough is just around the corner. When I looked her in the eyes, when we were up in that suite, actually same room as we're staying in today, and we saw that cross, little Gabriel, first vision of him, it was hard to believe that it was going to stick. When you get that glimpse that your breakthrough is going to come, and that maybe this is the time, this is the conference, this is when I got it, and you're 30 days into the run, 3 months into the run, you still have your doubts. I remember picking up some Burberry shoes when Gabriel was 4 months in the stomach in London. 85 pounds, it's insanely expensive, by the way. I got to use this one for a napkin, sorry. But when, it's okay. But when you pick them up and you go over to that counter, and you know that you're past the 3 month safe limit, but you have 13 times where your ambition got struck to the ground. You've got a question. Am I leaping too much out in faith? Will it hold up this time? But life is telling good things behind your back. Just around the corner. Just around the next hurdle. And back to my little drawing here. So you eventually get to the first top here. And you don't think that you have arrived. And then you're back here. And that's when you question everything again. Because when Peter Sørensen, one of our team members, when he got kicked out of his company and he had signed up for a master class with Randy Gage, how to recruit most number of people. I think it was like 15 grand for 90 days, something like that. And he got kicked out. It was hard to see that his breakthrough was just around the corner. It was hard to see that this is my great blessing. This is what I waited for. This is the one that is going to release me and unleash me unto my full potential. Manu Rekola is going to be one of the faculties doing one of the breakout sessions. When I got together with him, and his company was probably €500,000 in debt and losing €100,000 a month. And they've been putting their whole life into it, already lost his apartment, already lost his car, already lost all the investments. It's hard to see that your breakthrough is just around the corner. It's hard to know that your ambitions is going to come faster because of what happened. And I think that this is the true challenge of getting to that mountaintop, is keeping the belief. It's keeping the belief when everything looks like you're gonna lose. Keeping that belief in, it's hard to keep the belief in the company, but in the company you can keep the belief because the company has other people succeeding in it. Keeping the belief in the products, it's hard, but it's kind of easy because you've seen some people get results with the products. Keeping the belief in that somebody can succeed is kind of easy because you have seen some people succeeding. Are you with me? Anybody out there feeling this? But keeping the belief in you, that you can be the person, becoming the master of customers, becoming the masters of recruiting. And you can be the person that have a following, that is developing leadership, that is coaching people, that is really bringing other people to their success. It's hard to believe that. But the reason why we have our downfalls, and I'm going to give this as a bonus session, is because unless you have them, you can't really help and relate to the other people being in their dip on their journey. So we got to keep climbing, and we get to the next mountaintop. And of course, the next mountaintop looks even better because now you got a good view back here and you understand why these people are struggling, and you can clearly see your goal. You don't know about the dip coming, but don't worry about that. You'll make it through it somehow. The journey to freedom, which is the goal, is not a highway, it's a climb, and it takes your ambition to finish it. Without your ambition, you're not going to make it all the way to that top. Dana did a tremendous presentation today. Thank you, Dana. And she said something. She said something in that presentation where people don't necessarily come on stage and share their tough moments and share their struggles. And I actually had a really good opening story today that I dropped for the better opening story that I gave you. But over lunch, just after Dana was done talking, actually it was in the end of Dana's presentation and the beginning of ours, but don't tell them. I was sitting down with Hilda and Peter, and Peter says, so how does it feel like losing $3 million today? We were talking about our stock portfolios. How does it feel to lose $3 million today? And I said, well, Peter, how does it feel to lose $1 million today? He put a big smile onto me, and I said, since you only lost one, I think you should pick up lunch. When you get ahead and you start living some of those ambitions, life changes. This morning when I woke up, the portfolio was up $3 million. So from the top, it was actually 6 million down. But that's okay, because you've gotten through those first hurdles. You're done with these first things where you're losing everything and you're feeling that there is nothing you can do, and that you're struggling and that you don't know and you have to give your car back and all of those things. You're done with that and you get to a new one and life looks quite differently. Wouldn't that be nice when your ambition has taken you to the place where you can casually just tell people, sit down on this nice carpet, nice stage art, and say, I lost 3 million today and I feel great. Because when you start living your ambitions, when you start really believing that you can go all the way, there is going to be so many breakthroughs with you and your team and the people around you that there is no stopping on the good things that is gonna hit you. Sorry about messing up my language here. So comfortable seating. But there is no stopping to what you can do. Your life changes so radically. I had a beautiful picture of Gabriel coming over here. He was sitting in his seat. Actually, he didn't get a seat on the airplane over there, but he was sitting in my seat and he was laying all the way out, and in the flatbed in business class, of course, he was just covering a little sheet, and I was just thinking about it. Oh, I can't wait until you're 18, Gabriel. When you got to start paying for your own tickets, you will discover what's behind the curtain. But I do believe that maybe he will figure it out before he is 18, how he gets in front of the curtains. I do hope so. I definitely have an ambition. I definitely have a thinking that he will be somebody special. He'll be a superstar. At least in our family, he is the superstar. But life changes when you reach your dreams. And you live at a totally new level. And if the speakers on this platform have made it from where they started until where they are today, and some are still on the journey, but if they've done that, you can do that. There isn't anybody that doesn't have it in them. It's just a question, can you refine it and get it out? Can you get your inside out so the world can see your greatness? Talking about ambition in kids, here is the 5 things they say if you want to develop ambition in your kids. And this is how we develop ambition, I think, in our team as well. Number 1, talk about your ambition. So if you want your life to change, start talking about your ambition. Number 2, walk the talk. So it's not only about talking about it, but you got to do the numbers that they did up here with 2 per month or whatever. Quite frankly, I've been in 22 years. I've sponsored a little bit over 100 people. So I'm like at 0.4 per month. So 2 per month, you'll beat my records by far. So okay, 2 per month is amazing. If somebody felt the pressure on that, I felt the pressure in the back and said, 2 per month? Number 3, surround them with positive role models. Get your team around conferences like this, where they can run into people that give them an idea, that give them a viewpoint, that give them a belief that will totally change them. I can't say how much excitement there is every time I get to sit down with Ørjan. And he tells me about how much money he is making, and that is so much more money than we're making. And I'm looking at him, and I mean, Ørjan, he looks good, but he doesn't look that good. I think I look good too. And then he's got hands, he's got fingers, he's got a nose, he's got ears, he's got a little bit of hair, and he's dressed up. But I mean, there isn't. And I can touch him, and I can hug him, and then I can beat him. Are you getting that? Because when you get around the people that you want to be like, that you want to surpass, and you can touch them, you start believing that you can do it. And that's the value, that's the most valuable thing here. Go around, ask the people, are you doing well? And if they say yes, rub on them. You want to have what they have. And number 4, recognize achievements of small ambitions. The small wins Hilde covered so well. And then number 5, connect the ambitions to the passions. And if we do that, or journey to the top of the mountain, which is a representation of freedom, is going to be amazing. And I say a prayer with Gabriel every night, and what I say to Gabriel, we pray together, and I look him in the eye if he is awake, and if he's sleeping, I'm saying the prayer. And I say, you can think big thoughts. You can dream big dreams. Daddy is going to teach you everything that he knows. And you're going to be the wisest man on earth, so you can teach Daddy new things. And then it goes on for a little while. But I believe in just that. And I can't wait to see you living that dream that you have. And when me and Hilde started living our dream, our walks in the evening just changed a little bit. From talking about the babies in our team, we started talking about the baby in the stomach. And that was a joyful time before he came out and had poop problems. Well, it's even more joyful now. But we talked about that, and one day we started talking about, so who will he be and what will be going on, and we started envisioning what he would say if he was going to come on a Mastermind platform and deliver his talk at the age of 2. Poor guy. We've got some high expectations there, but since he's just 3 months now, I'm gonna finish up with a talk that we wrote for him that evening on our walk. And we got so excited because we knew inside of that talk, and we think that he will be able to do that too. He'll get his shiny shoes on and his suit on and his tie on or bow tie on, and he'll be walking on, like a baby does, and he'll come up here and you can see this tiny little body having a mic or having a headset that he is trying to rip off all the time. And he says, I'm really young, guys, but I've learned 2 things in my life so far. I learned 2 things. Number 1, you got to be hungry. And then he walks over here and he makes this stand like he has learned from Randy, that stand still when you're saying your things. And number 2, you got to work real hard. If you got an ambition, if you've got a dream, and you would keep that hunger, and you would work really hard, you'd figure out the rest. Thank you.